welcome to another episode of ArtCo Drone Solutions Saturday Night Live number 103. We've got a great show tonight. Before I bring up our first panelists, we're going to do what we always do each week. We're going to do On This Day in History. All right, let's go back in the Wayback Machine and let me read what happened on this day. In 1508, Maximilian I proclaimed Holy Roman Empire, first empire in centuries not to be crowned by the Pope. In 1778, France recognizes the United States, signs the Treaty Alliance in Paris. The first U.S. treaty. 1819, Stamford Raffles founds Singapore as British trading port. 1840, the Treaty of Waitangi is signed between 40 Maori chiefs, later signed by 500, and the representatives of the British Crown in Waitangi, New Zealand. The treaty was designed to share sovereignty between the two groups. 1952, Queen Elizabeth II succeeds King George VI to the British throne and is proclaimed Queen of the United Kingdom and other Commonwealth realms, including Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. 1989, Solidarity leader Lech Wałęsa begins negotiating with the Polish government. And that was on this day in history. Let's look at film and TV. 1921, The Kid silent film starring Charlie Chaplin and Jackie Coogan is released. You don't know, Jackie Coogan later played Uncle Fester in the Addams Family TV show. 1943, Frank Sinatra debuts on radio's Your Hit Parade. 1948, KNXT, now KCBS TV, Channel 2 in Los Angeles, California's first broadcast. 1961, KOAP TV, Channel 10 in Portland, Oregon, PBS begins broadcasting. 1964, WCIU TV, Channel 26 in Chicago, independent station, begins broadcasting. 1968, KESD, Channel 8 in Brookings, South Dakota, PBS begins broadcasting. 1972, the 29th Golden Globes, the French Connection with Gene Hackman and Jane Fonda win. 1973, drummer Buddy Rich plays influential performance at the top of the Plaza, Richmond, New York, later televised by PBS. And let's go over this sport, shall we? (1926) NFL rules college students ineligible until college classes graduates. 1926, St. Louis Browns acquire catcher Willie Shang from the New York Yankees. 1932, the first Olympic dog sled race at Lake Placid, New York, demonstration sport. 1936, the fourth Winter Olympic Games opened in Garmisch-Partenkirchen, Germany. Sorry about that, my German is terrible. 1947, Compton and Arthur Morris both complete the dual tons in the same Test cricket whatever that means. I'm not up on cricket. So let's pass all the cricket stuff. 1948 World and European Championship. Barbara Ann Scott becomes the first Canadian to win a women's figure skating Olympic gold medal at Saint Marie Winter Games. 1948 Niels Carlson wins the 50K cross country gold medal at St. Moritz Winter Olympics. Swedish skiers win all three cross country events at the games. And that's on this day in history. Alrighty, let's get to the show and let's bring up our first guest all the way from New York, probably somewhere near Lake Placid. Let's welcome Chuck. Welcome, welcome. You're on, Chuck. Welcome to the show. I don't hear you. Oh, yeah, I might have to unmute that. Yeah, thank you for telling me.
That's better. You think I'm the former president or something. Bad joke. He got muted a lot lately. Sorry. Yeah, Lake Placid isn't far from me. I actually flew my drone up there a couple of times. I've got a couple of things out on YouTube from up that way. Cool place to fly, for sure. Maybe not Colorado.
Of this winter stuff still there, like the ski jump and all that stuff?
Yeah, the jumps are really cool to fly around too. I did it covertly once, and then another time it was Class G. It is Class G airspace, so I just popped the drone up right as we were leaving the place, and like security waited for me to finish. That's how cool they were about it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, but they're pretty prominent. The two ski jumps are pretty prominent. Whiteface Mountain is still used. The ice rink, the 1932 rink, and the 1980 rinks are both still used. Oh, my niece has skated on the 80 rink. I was there watching her skate with a trainer this past August, that's a really cool place to go if you're anywhere near New York State and you get up to the Adirondacks. It is very cool. They just opened a roller coaster up near the old bobsled run. It's just like, neat. Yeah, some cool stuff.
That's cool. Well, that's great to see that they're still getting some use out of those Olympic stadiums or Olympic games areas, because a lot of countries they sank billions of dollars into these games. Only a few years later, these facilities are all abandoned and overgrown with growth.
Was it Sarajevo? Looks terrible. There are actually some stuff on YouTube. There's stuff on YouTube about Sarajevo. It's just sad. I mean, like, yeah, it is. Because Lake Placid, all the stuff works. The bobsled track, up until this past year in the summertime, they had bobsleds with like rollers on them, and you could go down them. Wow. You and I could go. We could hop on a bobsled, and it'd be a 4-man bobsled. They'd have a driver, a brake man, and you and somebody else in between, and you'd haul butt and go down the bobsled track at like 65 miles an hour.
Oh, man!
I didn't get to do it because it was shut down for they were refurbishing it. But see, they're still putting money into it. It's going to be opened again. Like nowish they're supposed to be reopening it again. It's pretty cool.
Colorado had a chance to get the Olympics back in '76, but our illustrious governor taught the people of Colorado out of having the Olympics. They put it on the ballot, and the people voted it down.
Boo!
But looking back on it, having the Olympics isn't really all that great a deal. You get a few weeks, you get notoriety, and then after that, people leave and all the facilities are just left standing there in a lot of places.
Yeah, not everywhere. In New York, we've made use of it. Hey, I see What was it? Ten Toes? Ten Toes?
Yeah, Ten Toes
Yeah,
is
the
here.
Dream Team. The Dream Team.
Yeah.
USA. Yeah, they beat the Russians in 1980. Yep. In
That's
fact, the
right.
banner is up at the 1980 rink. There's a whole thing on the hockey team and everything up there. It's
right.
super cool.
Mm-hmm. I want to say hello to a few people that are here. Steve Matt Cundiff, uh, Tom Tentos, Michael Wright, uh, Matt Cundiff. I think I said that. Oh, Jody Tentos. Yeah.
Got
All
drone
right.
shots
And
on.
there we have it. And we've
Yeah.
got a pretty good group watching. That's cool. So, how's the weather out there?
It is 25 degrees and clear right now. No snow.
Well, we're in the low 40s, partly cloudy, very windy here.
Is that unusual for you, Art? Aren't you guys usually colder this time of year?
Yeah, usually in February, the highs are in the 30s and the lows are down in the teens.
Yeah.
And but this has been unusually warm and mild winter. Hardly any snow down here in Denver. The mountains are getting pounded.
Well, that's
right
good.
now.
That's where the skiers want to go anyway. So this is good. And the
Well, and that's where a
snowboarders
lot
and
of our water comes from too.
yes. Yep. Same. Well, we get runoff from snow as well. Not
Yeah.
although in the Northeast, as you know, we don't really have much of a water problem. We have the
Yeah.
Great Lakes. And I think a number of years back, some brilliant politician wanted to put like a pipeline in or something and suck them dry. But that was
Well,
because the Great Lakes are part Canadian as well.
yeah, that's true.
They're kind of sacred because you have to have an agreement from both Canada and the United States to do anything. So thank goodness for that in a way, because the Canadians make use of them just like we do here in the States. But yeah, we have plenty of water up here. But the snowpack helps.
Mm-hmm.
Fills the lakes and all that.
Here in Colorado is the headwaters to 5 major rivers. We've got the North Platte, the South Platte, the Arkansas River. The Colorado River starts here,
Right.
and the Rio Grande River starts here.
They all start there. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hey, what's
So,
behind you, Art? What is that? The water tower
that
caught my eye.
is
Yeah.
the
and
Westminster Castle.
okay.
That was built in the late 1890s. It was started as a university. It was supposed to be the Yale University of the West. Unfortunately, during the silver crash of the 1890s, it folded, and it was partially abandoned for many years. Then it reopened just before World War One, and then when World War One started, then no students because they're all off fighting a war, and it sat abandoned for a few more years, and then it reopened as a Christian school, and right now it's part of a Christian academy that is K through 12 here.
Oh, okay.
And there's also a radio station there, KPOE, which is the Pillar of Fire, KPOF. Yep.
Pillar of fire. I can't take my eyes off the water tower off in the distance. The backdrop.
And that is part of this complex.
You should fly that if you haven't already.
Or
can't you?
Because, this building is part of the National Historic Register.
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Bummer.
So if I do fly it, I have to park off grounds and then fly in.
Can you get permission? You think? Have you ever asked?
Probably.
Just cause?
They probably say no.
Not necessarily. Maybe. It's kind of 50-50.
Yeah.
I think you should ask.
Well,
It's a lot easier. It's safer. Sell them on that. It's safer. If you let me fly, I'll do it at a quiet time. I'll come at 6 in the morning if I have to. What? Sell them on that. And a
Well,
lot of
that's what I
times,
did here. I got up early, and you know what? This was at the beginning of the pandemic. It
yeah,
was,
that's a great time to fly, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
and let's see, it was, yeah, it was right around St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, that's when it started here. In fact, our governor shut everything down on the 17th. So all these bars and nobody could, everybody had to like probably throw out all their corned beef and cabbage and everything. Well, maybe not the cabbage. That would last probably like 10 years. It won't spoil, but corned beef, I'm not so sure about. That might only last like
Here
a couple
comes,
years.
hey, hon, the liquor stores are still open. Let's go
Oh,
stock
they
up.
were too. Yes. Yeah, here too.
Well, here in Colorado, the liquor stores and pot shops were still
No,
open.
of course. New York is thinking of legalizing because they're
That's what I heard.
New York's struggling for money just like all the other states, so they see the
Hmm.
opportunity now.
Yeah,
As crazy as what, hey,
yeah.
it works for
Well,
Colorado and a
maybe
lot of the
it's
West Coast.
the idiots that moved here for pot. Maybe they could go back to New York.
We don't want them back. You can keep them. It's okay. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh God. After they legalized it here, there were only three states that legalized. And because, hey, we got the mountains and people love skiing, all the stoner snowboarders came here and they didn't go back home. They decided, and that's what
Set up shop.
started the economic boom here in Colorado. And now all the idiots from the blue states that screwed up their states, hey, let's go to Colorado. We'll vote the same way.
We probably shouldn't get into politics much, Art. It's dangerous, brother.
Well, yeah,
Dangerous.
we'll save that for tomorrow on my other show. I want to say hello to Brian, TDR Drones, and E-Bites, and Eddie Nunez.
I love Eddie. How you doing, Eddie?
So I want to try something out now that I am using vMix. I'm going to see if my sound effects work.
I don't hear anything.
You don't hear anything?
Nothing.
No?
Nope. Nothing.
Uh,
I try
that
again.
is weird. I get.
I can do this. You can hear that?
Yeah, that works.
That's weird.
Oh, it's a little technical difficulties. My buddy Keith from the K-Spot managed to get some kind of soundboard on his iPad that he uses on our live streams now. He's been having a bunch of fun with it. He's
Well,
he's
I could do. I've got a sound effects on my phone. I could plug that up to.
yeah, but your setup should work. That's a bummer.
Yeah, that's. Oh, uh
Uh
oh,
oh. We've been
uh oh.
framed.
Hold
You've been
on.
framed.
I've been framed. Yep. All right, we're back. Yeah.
Tento, since
So,
when is that
oh,
stuff legal in Oklahoma? The last time I was there, you get shot on sight if you had that stuff. He's like,
hey, Bob Casey, welcome to the show.
hey, Bob.
Yeah. So, no Mitch tonight. I
What's up
hope
with
he
that?
got my email. Hopefully, he'll come in. As you, I don't know if you heard, he kind of uh, has taken a hiatus from YouTube.
Oh, like a Facebook hiatus, maybe.
Well, he got rid of Facebook and Twitter, and last week I got a note saying I won't be doing any more live streams nor uh, uh, content on his channel.
Ah,
I'm like, oh, jeez.
that's sad. Why the change
Well,
of heart? Anything?
yeah. Well, hopefully he'll change his mind and come back. He say he'll still pop into the live streams now and then, so that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would.
Mhm.
These live streams are what make it worthwhile on YouTube. This is the fun stuff. It's work making videos.
Yeah,
It's
it
fun
is a
work,
lot
but
of
it's
work.
work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And last week we were talking about doing this full time or as part time to earn some extra money. And it it does take a lot of work
Yeah,
because
I'm not even.
you got your live stream and then putting out content. That's a lot of work,
Uh huh.
and when you're working a lot of hours like I have, I worked 26 hours of overtime in the last 2 weeks.
Ooh,
So
that's pretty heavy
not a
OT, Art.
whole heck of a lot of time to do anything. DumbTube, welcome to the show.
Dumb too.
But I did
Good
get
Nate.
a video out last week. I got a
I saw the
video
car.
out. Yeah, the
Gonna
little
bust it out.
car.
Did you get a body for it yet, Art?
No, I didn't.
You still running it nude, huh?
Yeah, still
It's the
running.
chassis. The
Yeah,
chassis.
this is. And the cool thing about it
It's
is
fast.
it'll change. It'll go from flat to kind of hunched up, and boy, this thing is fast.
It was fast. I watched the video. That thing
Oh
is hauling.
man.
Yeah, man. And the good thing about vehicles, unlike drones, is when they crash, it's never quite as bad.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
need to put a GoPro on it, though, Art. Now you have to
Yeah,
put a GoPro on it.
yeah, I think I will. There is a little flat spot where I could put one of
Yeah,
those little sticky things on
there you
there
go. A
and
little Velcro
put a
action or
GoPro
something.
on it, and
Yep.
and
Maybe,
maybe with
maybe strap it too,
the
just to be
Hero
safe.
5 with the stabilization, it'll
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yep.
yeah.
Or one of those. How about a 360 camera? That'd be really cool, wouldn't it?
Ooh,
Yeah, you
that
should do
would be
360.
cool.
You got to do 360,
Oh, if I
baby.
get Sean to loan me his and
Oh, Sean
put it
Oz.
on there. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that guy has all the good toys.
That would be really cool. I mean, here you probably you might see the tires maybe. That's about it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Sean was on last week, right? I remember seeing him for a little bit.
Yeah, towards the end a little
Yeah,
bit. Yep. Hmm.
he's a good FPVer. I'm scared to
Yeah,
do
he.
FPV. I
Mhm.
I don't like that whole claustrophobic thing. I struggle
Yeah.
with that. I have
I'm
issues.
trying to get into that. I just don't have enough time. Hopefully, when the weather gets better, and it looks like the all the workload is starting to come down a little bit. Michael Blade, welcome to the show. So our shelves are getting a little smaller, so maybe I won't. But I love the checks though, and it
Yeah.
helps the 401k to grow a lot faster,
Oh yeah.
which is
Yeah. My YouTube,
especially now
especially
I'm
now.
getting closer to that magic number.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Yeah.
Well, my YouTube channel is growing super slow. I finally did my first vlog, put it out a week ago.
Yeah.
Those things take some serious time. I have a newfound respect for Casey Neistat after trying to
Yeah.
just putting one together from a weekend. That thing
Yeah.
took me every night after work for like a week to like cut it up and splice it together and get it pretty enough to put out there. Holy smokes. They're
Well,
hard. I don't know how
you know,
people do it every day.
that's all he does. Yeah, he puts out a video every day, or at least he did.
He
I
did. He
haven't
hasn't been
been watching
active.
for a long time.
3 months, I think he's been inactive.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But anyway, yeah, I was trying it out, trying out the vlog thing. My wife and I had a lot of fun doing it. Now she's kind of addicted, but I gotta find another fun
That's
place
good.
to vlog.
Mhm.
Maybe Colorado.
Yeah, my subscribers are up and down. Last week I was at 1440. Now I'm down to 1430. I think it bounces around.
It's
I
weird.
think
There's
I'm
like an
in.
algorithm. I think
Yeah.
some people can subscribe twice for a while, and then it throws that second one out. It's yeah, I can't figure it out, Art, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yep.
go with the flow, brother. Just go with the
Mm-hmm.
flow.
Yep.
So I saw Eddie's a real FPV, or he's buddies with Ken Dono, so he's all about the FPV. He's like, this is the life.
Yep.
What do you think of
Mm-hmm.
that DJI FPV drone? That thing's supposed to be rolling out here pretty soon.
Yeah, I heard that Ken Heron is going to be trying it out here pretty soon.
I think he tried it.
And
I think he and Dono
yeah,
tried it. They
yeah.
oh, they got their hands on one somehow. Probably somebody else had one and let them play. It's probably good for you and me. You know, you can get it's like training wheels. It's a training wheels
Yeah, it
FPV
is. That's
drone.
what I'm hearing. It's kind of like an introduction drone to
It's
FPV for
cat
guys who don't want to go in and build
all
their
in
own
and build
machine.
and spend the time and
Yep.
tinker. It's for the lazy people who want to just take it out of the box, charge it up, and update the firmware and fly.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
yeah, guilty. I've lost the tinkering thing for the most part.
Well, if I had more time, I'd be doing more of the tinkering and more content and
Right?
this and that and the other thing. So, uh, hopefully, when I retire, then I'll be able to do all that stuff and have my own place to where I could, you know, get out a calendar to mark down. Okay, I'm going to do these projects here, here, and here, and these days are for editing, and these days are for filming and stuff like that, and come up with ideas for content to do, and space it out. And because I have more than one channel, I have a fishing channel. Uh, my plan is to move somewhere where I could travel around the place and do a lot of fishing. Uh, Preferably Tennessee. Then that way I could go down to Florida, or I could go north up to Michigan and Wisconsin. I could go east to North Carolina, go fishing, and yeah.
Yeah, you can get an RV like all these other retirees. Drive with your RV. Oh, there's a good
Yeah.
spot to fly the drone. Let's
Yeah.
stop there. Wait, here, stop. All right, honey, get the drone out. Yes, you
Yeah.
could fish too, and you could fly the drone and cast out the line using the drone too, right?
Yep.
Get a drop device.
Yep.
The drone does it
That's
all,
right.
baby. Drone does it all.
Mm-hmm.
Let it do the heavy
Yep.
lifting.
That's what Chris Hope does. He uses his drone to take the line out,
Way the heck
especially
out.
when he goes surf fishing.
Yep, it's
Takes the
cool.
line all the way out there, drops it, and he's ready to go.
I had a drop device for a Phantom 3, but I never used it much before
Oh,
I knew it worked, and then I sold it to a coworker who was a fisherman.
oh, cool,
Yeah, I think I told you about that
cool,
last
cool.
time. He took it out very first time and put it in the bottom of a lake, so that was the end of that. So I guess
Uh-oh,
it went
yeah,
fishing
you.
once. I don't know if he caught anything. Sad day.
Probably dirty looks is what he caught. Yeah,
Well, it was
or
probably quiet.
disappointing looks.
Yeah, I think it was mostly just on him. It's sad.
Mm,
Now. Can you get a coral reef in the bottom of a freshwater lake? Probably not. Probably just a zebra mussel thing going on.
yeah. Mm. Oh, that's the thing here in Colorado. Every time you take your boat to the marina, you gotta get inspected. You have to clean everything because they're all about the zebra
Yeah,
mussel.
those buggers, they got into the Great Lakes, and they
Yeah.
you know, it's funny though. I think the zebra mussels actually cleaned up the lakes. They
Yes, they did.
they filtered all the garbage out. So kind of a blessing in a way. But yeah, they stick to everything. They're they're invasive.
Mm-hmm. What's this? The nice chunk of, oh. Yeah, I'm getting a nice tax return this year, so I get a lot of crap paid off, which would be nice.
Yeah, you can get the FPV drone. See, what did Ken say it was? $12.99 US. That's the guess.
Yeah. Well, I've got the little tiny hawk, and then I have this other 5-inch quad that I got off of a police auction website, and that's all I'm going to start with for now. And then if I get better, then I could try the other ones, the other sizes.
Yeah. The aren't there some bigger Cinewhoops?
Oh,
they all super
yes,
tiny?
they have 7-inch. They've got some great big ones that are
There was
about
a dude.
this big.
Yeah, who was the dude on YouTube flying? I can't think of his name
Mr.
now.
Steele?
No, Drone Supremacy.
Oh,
The dude from Drone Supremacy was flying this great big monster thing. It was like a pterodactyl drone. It was scary. I just think it was like, take your head off. It's crazy.
Yep.
You know, it's one of those things. That's for us guys. We ever got a big drone, you big flies, big monster drone, and scare people with the thing. It sounds, oh man, yeah. He was flying when somebody loaned it to him, and he was flying around. I think it was massive.
Right.
Props are like this.
Oh, so hopefully we'll get a few more people coming in. I know right after 6 o'clock or pretty soon, James from My PI Dream will be joining us.
Oh, I like James. I better get all my words in now. Anything I have to say, I better say it now.
Yeah, you better.
No offense, James, if he's watching before he comes in. I was watching some of his stuff last weekend after we all met up, and he had this one video where he was like putting speakers in and stuff, and he had a party going on, and holy cow, that was cool. He's got a setup. Guy is set up, growing coconut trees and then making coconut drinks with his own coconuts. He's living the dream, that guy.
Greg, if you want, you could jump in. I think I sent you an email. That'd be great to have you. Where is Chris Hope?
I was trying to get caught up on all the comments. I've been bad. I haven't been reading them. Who's doing the 107? Who's going for their 107?
Oh, speaking of the Philippines, let's welcome all the way from Lipa City. Let's welcome James from My PI Dream. Magandang umaga.
Good morning.
Good evening. Good everything. That's what I always say. Good everything. Can't go wrong then.
There you go. Can't go wrong with that. No, not a bit. Hey, I've been in on your show since the morning. We just got done eating the waffles. You know the tradition here. Waffle morning, Sunday waffle morning, and then it's all done and working on a cup of coffee. How are you guys doing? Good morning. Evening.
We're doing
everything.
Good. It's been cool and windy here in Denver.
I gotta tell you, you guys are the highlight of my morning. Other than the waffles and of course my wife being here with me.
You're waiting.
But you guys are so funny. You had so many golden nugget comments this morning coming in, and I loved your first I loved your first comment about the former president. I don't want to get political or anything, but
I know. I
don't know if a lot of people caught that when they came in. That was really funny. Then
I'm muted.
Then I heard your comment. I heard your comment about the temperature. I think you said it was 25 there.
Yeah, it'd be great in Celsius, not so much in Fahrenheit.
Well, you blew my joke. You blew my
I'm
joke,
sorry,
Jack.
steal your thunder. This is
Yeah, there's something like that because it's 26 here, but in Celsius. Yeah.
That's because my buddy Keith over there in Thailand, he's a Celsius guy, right? Because only us stubborn Americans stick with Fahrenheit. So like that joke's been pretty common with us too the last week or two. Yeah.
Well, it's actually the mornings usually start. This is the time of year. There's a very predictable seasonal atmospheric conditions that go on here, and just like in the States. I mean, we have where Art's at right there, the snow, and where you are, the snow, and then in the summer is just like hot, and then you have your.
Greg.
We have our hey good morning Greg. Well, it is morning for you.
Point down.
Yeah. Good night, Mike.
It's hard to do. Everything's backwards. I'm not getting used to the backwards thing. I'm working on it, but
I don't think we got Greg's audio. We got Greg. You got some audio there?
Is he muted? Art likes to mute us when we come in. See?
Yeah.
No, he's not muted.
Not.
Yeah.
How about now?
What face is that?
Oh, there you go.
Really? Wow, that was like.
Did someone say you use Fahrenheit to measure temperature in the US? Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit? Yeah.
Fahrenheit, not Fahrenheit.
Good morning.
Hey, Greg.
Good to see you, Greg.
Yeah, likewise.
Did we ever meet? Whereabouts are you? You across the pond too?
I come from a land down under.
Yeah.
Oh, you're down under.
He's like almost like directly
South.
below us. So below us here. I think. What time? What time is it there? What time zone are you in right now?
We're UTC plus 11. It's currently 11:41.
Oh, okay. So you're a few hours different from because we're 8:41 a.m. here right now.
This is so cool. We have multiple time zones covered and multiple hemispheres.
Multiple days covered. It's already tomorrow for us.
You know how they got
what we can do on YouTube. It's like we're spanning the globe. This is
it's like CNN International, but this is Art Drone Solutions
And covering
International. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Art, you've got to go and change your little banner, your logo up there. You've got to extend it down. ArtCo Drone Solutions International.
Yes.
Yeah.
International. That's what you can do. You need to do that. You can put all the little flags under it, like the Olympics, like we were talking about when we started.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Yeah, great.
Well,
anyway.
Well, like I was getting to, was the atmospheric conditions during the year, because we really see 4 seasons. You really see 4 seasons in the U.S., and I don't know how it is with Greg down in Australia.
We have 2.
But we have 2. We really have 2. We have this dry, but everything stays green. But we just don't have the rainfall. Then we have the summer when it's really hot, and we have the rainfall. That's like our really 2.
Philippines has hot and very hot.
Hot and very hot. Yeah.
Well, here in New York, we have our fall is really, really awesome, but it's just so darn short. It's not the full 4-month deal. It's more like 1.5 to 2 months if we're lucky. Spring too, and then winter kind of is half the year.
Yeah.
Well, Greg, I think your family's from Cavite, right? Yeah. And
Yeah.
Cavite, you're actually correct when you say hot and very hot. Because
not so much because we're up in the mountains a bit, so we get we get a bit cooler up. But
most of them in the lower level areas inside there around between Cavite and Manila, it's hot and very hot because it's
stinking hot.
Oh yeah, because we're really lucky because we're really elevated here where we are, and we have a really nice climate year round. Although it does get up there a bit. It gets probably up maybe 30, 31, and I think that's probably near the high 90s in Fahrenheit, somewhere around there. Very
Fahrenheit?
hot. Yeah, Fahrenheit. Yeah. So, but anyway, we have the 2. But what I was getting at was this morning, because this time of year during usually the end of January and February and going into March, we normally have this really bad windy condition here, and we've had it. And it's been so windy, it's like you don't even want to go outside. We don't even normally, most of the year, we don't close any of the windows inside the house. but the wind has been so bad. It's been like almost the feeling of a Cat 1 typhoon or Signal 1 typhoon or Category 1 hurricane around here for the past month. It's been like that for a month. But this morning, absolutely beautiful. The skies were all blue and got the pool going on in the background with the waterfall.
I hear the soothing sounds of water flow.
Oh, it's what retirement is all about. We're really
Got it
starting to
made,
enjoy
brother.
that. Yeah, man.
Down here, we've been doing El Nino in terms of weather patterns. Are you familiar with that term?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Well,
definitely more wet this year than the last little while. Definitely
got hit-
broken our drought.
You got hit hard last year, didn't you? By the El Nino, right?
Yeah, and definitely, yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if you remember, I did do a couple of episodes on how a gum tree about 3 or 4 stories high fell down and smashed into 2 buildings in our townhouse complex and crushed a car and all sorts of fun and games. So yeah, we've been having fun with the weather.
Mother Nature is being mean. Art, I just noticed something. My wine glass is empty, but look what it says on it. Can you see it?
Oh, Swedish Hill Winery. Oh,
Lake
Lake
Placid, New York.
Oh,
See, I have proof I've been. Other than the videos, of course. Okay, sorry. Sorry, Zoom tangent. We're back. Sorry.
in case you guys missed it, before when I start my show, I usually do on this day in history, and there's a lot of stuff from the Olympics in Lake Placid, New York.
1932 and 1980. Yep.
hey, Art, you got time for me to share a couple of photos?
Sure.
Hey, don't load this up. Let me lead up to it. So I'm just going to load it up in the share screen. I don't think a few people. I don't think a lot of people realize it. In a couple of our thumbnails, and even we didn't know about it until later on, after we went back and we looked a little closer. But take a look who snuck in and photobombed us in a couple of our thumbnail screens for some of our videos. Take a look at this first one. See if you can figure out who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Bernie in the back.
And it,
Does he still have his mittens on? Because it's kind of warm for mittens.
well, can you zoom, Art? Does that allow you to zoom? I don't know if it allows you to zoom or
I
not.
don't think it does. I don't think. Nope.
It doesn't allow you to zoom. I don't know. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. If I can do a real
Does
quick.
he have his mittens on?
Well, hold on.
Yes,
hold
he
on.
does.
Just stand there for a second. Let me. And what I'm going to do.
In his parka. He's wearing a. You're trying to kill the guy. He's gonna. And a mask.
Let me see. Let me see if I can get down here. I just
Bernie.
did. I just did a. Let me see. I gotta figure out how to do this. This technology is killing me here. I got everything by the sort by thing right here. Let me see if I go. Here, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna stop sharing this one so that you can see better. So you can see better on that one. I'm gonna share a close up on that one, and I have another one over here. Yeah, here you go. You posted something so you can see a little bit better on this one. Is he wearing his mittens?
Yes,
Of course,
he is.
Of course, he's wearing his mittens.
Of course he is.
And then I didn't realize Ness and I we were sitting up on the bridge one day, and somebody was taking a picture, and son of a gun, if he didn't sneak up on us again right here. Anyway, I thought that would be cute to show that. Yeah.
Yeah, the Bernie memes have been all over the place. That guy's he's traveling the world. He must have his vaccine.
And for those of you who are watching, you've seen it here first. I haven't even showed that on my channel yet. I've been slow. I've been slow on my channel.
10 toes, Bernie.
That was a lot of fun.
I'm going to have to disappear. I've got a tech support requirement I've got to do, so I will maybe be back if I can. But James, nice to see you, and either this weekend coming up or the one after, we'll go and have you come and join us again, something like that.
Oh, that'd be cool, Greg. And I actually have to be taken off too. I have actually it's 8:50 here. I'm supposed to be in Rosario at 9 a.m. One of those plant nursery. Edgar's. He's been on my channel several times. He's real good about if you need a specific or a special type of plant or shrub. He can get anything that you possibly. I don't know where he gets and sources. I'll see you later, Greg.
Hi, Greg.
Bye-bye.
Nice meeting you, brother.
Bye, Greg.
So anyway, that's what I got it. I can't stay on for maybe just a couple more minutes because there's no way I can make it there in 10 minutes from right now while I'm still sitting here on your show. But he's real good about that. He'll be in there all morning. But I'm picking up some this morning. We're looking for some screening type of shrubs. Give us a little bit of privacy. Where I'm sitting right now, you see how we have a background back here? Well, this background, this wall, this is our northern facing wall section right here. This just goes to our backyard, and we don't want to screen this up because this is our beautiful view for us. But on this side over here,
Yep.
which is our east side, there's some construction going on over there, and eventually the lot right next door to us, they'll build a house right there, and we don't want to like be looking into their porch or whatever they build there, their kitchen, and us back and forth. So what we're going to do, I asked Edgar. I said, give me a recommendation, because I don't have a big space. I only have about 2 meters of space between the house and our wall, or about 2 meters, and that's our walkway. That's our walkway that we go on the side where I run the lawnmower from the front yard to the backyard. And I asked Edgar, I said, give me a perfect screening shrub or tree that won't grow really wide, because I got to put it right on the fence, and I can't let it grow onto their yard over on their side, but I also need to still be able to walk through the small 2-meter area. And he said, I've got the best plant for you. This is what you got to use. And it's and I told him the height restrictions that I needed for here. I don't want it to grow more than maybe 4 or 5, about 5 meters or something like that. And he said, yeah. He said a Thai bamboo. He said, Thai bamboo. He says, because you can take a Thai bamboo and the bottom section to a couple meters, 1.5, 2 meters in the bottom, it'll stay nice and clean where you can walk right by it with no problem. And then you just let it bush out, and it doesn't bush out real far. It's only, I don't know, maybe about this big, a nice bush. And he says you just you separate them, and he told me how far you separate them. First he asked me, how far is the area you need to do? I said I need a 5-meter area that I need privacy for. He said 5 meter takes 7. I don't know. He came up with his calculation just like this. 7 bamboo. That's what you need. So we're going to pick up 7 bamboo this morning.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's the object. That'll be in the next. By
Next
dream
vlog.
DIY. Yeah, DIY. Vlog, probably. If I don't have anything else going inside there. Yeah, we're a little bit behind.
Done a vlog on fixing my snowblower.
You should. You should. I heard you speaking earlier in the segment today here about your slow growth, talking about slow growth and building your channel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you know what? I've said this so many times on this channel right here even. I said, as long as you have growth, it doesn't matter how slow it is. As long as you have positive growth going inside there and you establish your channel, and then what happens is you'll see, it was, even for us, it was very slow at the very beginning, but we've had growth for 4 years now. We've never dipped down. It's always been, and we've been semi-successful here. I would say we've had good results here. So just, you got to keep pushing. Don't give up. Keep pushing.
I need to find a niche. I haven't God, I got a brand new laptop. I should do a review on the darn thing.
Yeah. Well, you've already got one, Chuck. You and Art already both have a niche, and it's your personality. You both have great personalities. You have great personalities, and you, Chuck, you have that radio talk host way of getting your voice across, and it's really good. So
I had no idea.
Oh, you did? Well, as a matter of fact, I will tell you, my wife, She just left here. She went into the kitchen, but she said he sounds just like a radio host on there. He's because that was before I plugged the headset in. She could hear. She could.
It has to be the microphone. Must be this Amazon Basics microphone doing it for me. Maybe I don't know.
So don't give up. Don't give up. It's
I'm not giving up. Never give up.
Look at it.
Never
Look at
surrender.
Art. I'm watching Art's channel, and it's just got that nice steady growth inside there. So that's what it takes, and you'll get there. And then you find things as you go. I'm not the expert, but we've been lucky, and what you'll find, you'll improve. You'll find things, whether it's technology or it's the way that you present yourself on screen and stuff like that. And then you add, it keeps getting better and better and better. So
Well, the vlog was a lot of fun. The vlog was a ton of fun that we did a couple weekends ago, and that thing, my wife's like, we're up to 325 now. Look at it. It's like in views. I'm like, holy cow, that thing is like, yeah. So maybe it's the vlog thing. My wife is on board with the vlog thing. So
yeah.
good.
and then I can still incorporate some drone footage, which is really cool. It's like, okay, we're going out here, we're going to fly the drone. Oh, I gotta fly the drone here. That's kind of a good formula. So they get to mix it all up.
I think I did one. Somebody, I don't know if Art said it or somebody said you need to get some more drone things. And I did one drone a couple of videos ago.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really do too much good to do a drone when you're sitting there working knee deep inside your raised bed garden. So that doesn't really help out for that. For those
Gotta be some pretty cool stuff to mix up with your ground footage, to mix up some aerial footage where you are, though.
Oh man. I'm thinking right now, I didn't really prepare for this because we're going, and I think we're going to video today's visit with Edgar down in Rosario. I should have charged up the drone.
Yes.
Because a lot of, I think I did. I think what I'll do, I will do it in just a minute. I'm going to go inside there, plug in the battery, come back here to you. Because the thing is, in Rosario, where Edgar has his nursery, everybody keeps asking me, where is this place? I never see it. And it's weird. He's got the worst location. I'm telling you, he's like, you have the main street. Then you have this huge, the only thing that's great about it is right on the main street is this huge, big box store called McKilling. It's like Lowe's or Home Depot in the U.S., right? It's right there. And as long as you tell people it's behind McKilling, at least they have a general idea where it's at. But behind McKilling means you go behind McKilling, but it's this one car width road that's like rural gravel that you drive way through. You keep and then you make this weird 90-degree angle kind of a turn, and there's no place to turn your
by
vehicle
the palm
around.
Tree.
Well,
that's how you guys navigate.
Yeah.
It's like St. Thomas.
It is.
Go up to the old abandoned barn and turn left, and then you can turn right by the 3 cows and like.
Okay, you shouldn't have. You opened it up, Chuck. You did it. You opened it up, and here comes my story. All right.
I'm sorry, Art. No, I'm not sorry.
And here comes the story. We have some friends here, and they have a vlog, and they've been here. If you watched my episode for our Thanksgiving and our New Year's, you know Dave and Emily from Balikbayan Farming with Dave and Emily. They have a place. They say they live in Rosario. It's really not Rosario. It's like in between Rosario and San Juan. And San Juan's about a 45-minute drive from here, and Rosario is like about 25 minutes from here. Anyway, I said I need to instruct because they told me. They said it's kind of weird where we are. We're really back in the sticks. Dave's from, I think he's from Kentucky or Tennessee. You know, we're way back in the sticks. You know. And well, they are way back in the sticks here. And he said, "Let me draw you out." So he drew me out this diagram inside there. And I'm like, "Dude," I just said, "Show me on Google Maps." I said, "Show me on Google Maps how to get there," and just kind of trace that. Because when you draw something on a piece of paper, it's nothing like driving down these roads out here if you don't have a visualization of these landmarks all over the place.
Rolling hills of Kentucky.
Oh yeah. So anyway, on his draw out sheet, exactly like you just said to me, he said, well, you go to this spot right here, you go to then you're going to come to a fork in the road. And in the fork in the road, there's going to be a cow there on a chain. He said, when you see the he said that is the key. That's the element that you have to look for. When you see the cow, make a right.
I'm sorry.
And it's
I
right
didn't expect the
past
cow
the
reference.
Jollibee
I had no
on the
idea.
left.
There was and sure as can be that the cow was there. He said the cow is always there. The cow is always there, and the cow was there
Wow.
in the V in the road. And then we actually did get lost. We got lost on that because we didn't I mean we really got lost. Really, we probably lost. I'm going to say 30, 45 minutes. Kind of a loss. That's how bad lost we got. But that was with his written instructions. But we did find a cow, and I knew when we found the cow, we were good to go. We were safe when we found the place. Well, that was my
Next time
short,
I'm
long
in the
story.
Philippines,
That's awesome.
One of the places I'm definitely going to go to is Jollibee's.
Okay, all right. Before I forget, because I'm getting to the age that I won't even remember that I just said I need to charge the battery. I will be right back. Hold on.
All right.
I'll mute
Okay,
myself
we'll
so
be
you don't hear the water here.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Jollibee's is kind of like combining KFC with McDonald's.
Wait. I'm sorry. I cheated and looked at my phone. I had to order a new motherboard because I have an issue with my existing one. So the guy was asking me a couple of questions on eBay. What was that, Art? Take me back a couple seconds.
Jollibee's is a fast food restaurant. It's kind of like KFC meets McDonald's.
Okay.
They sell chicken. They even have spaghetti there. You get spaghetti.
Jollibee's.
Jollibee's. They have a character. His name is Jollibee. He looks like a little red bee, and it's kind of like their version of Chuck E. Cheese mouse.
So is it a kid's place? Is it like Chuck E. Cheese, or
It's
is it?
kind of like that.
Oh.
They do have kid shows. We're
You talking about Jollibee's?
Jollibee's.
I heard the mouse thing inside. The mouse guy that's sitting outside with the big glove, the Mickey Mouse glove, white gloves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Man, I was not Jollibee's, but I finally went to White Castle when I was out. I was out in Indianapolis on a business trip, job site visit, and the guys with me, one of the guys up there is like, I think we'll go to White Castle for lunch. I'm like, you mean like Harold and Kumar White Castle?
Yeah,
He's
that's
like,
right.
He's like, you never been? I was like, no, we don't have those. He's like, oh, dude, you have to go. So
Yeah.
it's like, you have to go. Order 5. That's what he said.
Well,
'cause they're
was your friend
small.
was your friend from the South? I don't know because we don't have those in the South. There's no White Castles down in South
No,
Carolina.
this was Indianapolis, Indiana. It was,
No, I'm saying was your friend from originally from because he said he hadn't been to one before.
no, that was me.
That was you.
I had never been.
Oh,
I
you'd
had
never been to one.
So he's like,
Oh.
dude, you have to go. And like I'm sorry, maybe I made the story confusing, but yeah, I was the one who was like the White Castle virgin. I had never been.
You didn't make the story confusing. It's this is what makes things confusing right here. So,
I don't know. I have some issues upstairs as well. So it's,
but I did the same thing. As a contractor, most of our business is up in the Northeast and in the Northwest, up in the Seattle area, and mostly around Jersey and Virginia and the D.C. area. And the first time I went to a White Castle, I looked at the size of those burgers and I'm like, oh man, I need about 30 of these.
yeah, they're
because-
sliders. They're sliders.
Yeah,
They're little
yeah.
little dudes.
Yeah, I was really surprised because I'd never seen anything like that. And that's
I
actually,
was warned.
I think that was the precursor, I guess you could say, to the sliders. Because
Yeah,
the sliders
yeah, I
came
guess
out
they-
generations and became really popular, especially during football games, which I think you're gonna have a big football game tomorrow, huh?
I think we have a big. Yeah, I think there's like a game tomorrow. Yeah, imagine.
Yeah.
Was that the Super Bowl or something? Super something. Yeah.
Hey,
But I made sliders
Yeah.
accidentally during my vlog. I should have filmed it. It would have been funny because I bought 80% beef and the stuff. I had these quarter-pound burgers that were good size, and then when they were gonna be like sliders. Do you remember the episode of the Flintstones when Fred Flintstone had the brontosaurus steak and it was like as big as like this, and then he cooked it and it was like this? That's what happened to my burgers.
Speaking
Well-
of sliders, it is that time in the show. It is time for, okay, let's see if I go 2. It is time for. Let's get it up here.
Oh, Edgar's gonna be so angry at me.
He'll wait.
He's okay. He'll be there until lunchtime, I think.
Uh-oh, toffee trivia. Art sound still isn't working, is it?
I saw it earlier where he said, "I want you to listen to this neat
The
sound."
soundboard. Yeah, he's got to get it working. I'm telling you, man. My buddy Keith, he got his set up on an iPad. It's awesome. Hey, Art. Sorry.
Alrighty, guys. It is
Art,
that time to give away some toffee. So, today's trivia question is, alright, if you were here last week, we talked a little bit about this. What is the maximum depth of Lake Baikal, the largest freshwater lake in the world? What is the maximum depth?
You know, they say the second thing to go with old age is memory, but I can't remember what the first thing is. That's not my joke. That came from a dude who I used to work with in an engineering office. He was Art. Oh, he's a good dude. This guy's name was Art. Just a solid old school engineer.
Alright, we're just waiting for who's got the okay.
12 feet.
Lake Baikal is Baikal, and you can use Google. So
Cheat away.
Because that's about the only way anybody's gonna answer that question.
In Russia, right? That lake's in Russia.
yes, it is. It's in
That much I
Siberia.
remembered. I couldn't
And it's
remember.
one of the few lakes that has freshwater seals.
And we talked about how it wasn't in proximity to Chernobyl, so it didn't get irradiated, so it's still
No, it's
okay.
way east of Chernobyl.
Freaking
Chernobyl
Chernobyl.
is in the Ukraine.
It's crazy Russians. We don't need any stinking backups.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, let's see.
you get it? The 10 toes get
Yes, 10 toes. Let me check my scanatron here. Yes, 10 toes is the winner. Winner,
it? Chicken dinner.
dinner. Tom, you are the winner for the umpteenth time. It is 5,387 feet deep in the deepest spot.
Wow. Now we have Whataburger chat going on. We have White Castle versus Whataburger, and then in the east we have Smash Burger around here, which isn't so bad.
Well, we have Smash Burger. We just got In-N-Out Burger.
In-N-Out Burger, that's an oldie but a
Five
goodie.
Guys.
Five Guys
here.
is solid.
Oh, Five Guys,
And
yeah.
what
one
else?
more.
Yeah,
Oh,
their
we
fries
have
are good.
Hamburger Stand, which is probably similar to Whataburger.
I don't know. For Five Guys, I don't know if it's what they do on the whole franchise, but when you go to Five Guys, do they like fill your bag with the fries, what you're talking about, and then overflow it like crazy
Yeah, it's
inside
awesome.
there? Oh, that's it. That's it. So it must be how they do it on all. They must teach them all because that's what I was always. And they're good potatoes and they're fresh. You see when you walk inside, they have the baskets inside there.
Oh, I haven't.
with the.
I haven't.
Well, ours does. Ours does. When you walk inside, they have all the baskets that have the fresh potatoes that they cut, that they fry inside, that go inside your bag. Yeah.
Nice. And Johnny Rockets, they have the best shakes.
Oh, Johnny Rockets, dude.
Old-fashioned shakes, real ice cream and milkshakes. The real.
Well, that's another.
Not
I
the
don't know.
Massachusetts milkshake where it's just milk and they just like shake it up.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think they have Johnny Rockets in the South either. I think I've been to Johnny Rockets when I was on both the East Coast and the West Coast, and up in the Northeast. But I know for sure it was up in the Northeast.
Wimpy, if you loan me the money for a cheeseburger today, I will gladly pay you on
Hey, you-
Tuesday.
Popeye.
Isn't that Wimpy? I think I'm dating myself now.
Oh, you don't look old enough to be watching.
My
all
older
the
sister
the
remembers
Flintstones
Popeye.
and the
The Flintstones, yeah, the
and
Flintstones I caught the tail end of.
Bugs Bunny and.
Oh yeah, I'm a Looney Tunes guy. Yeah.
Well, when
Bugs
James
Bunny
and I
had a long
watched
run.
the Flintstones, it was black and white.
Hey, well, it's true.
What?
That's true. At first.
Oh yeah, the really old, the Gilligan's
Yeah.
Island was black and white.
I don't
Star
think
Wars
I don't
too.
think we got color. I don't think we got color till what about 65, 64, 65 is about when color.
Well, I was lucky. My dad worked for
Yeah.
General Electric, so we were one of the first people with a color TV in the neighborhood, which was kind of cool. And it was really big. It was a whole 19 inches.
Ah.
And I remember whipping you only had 3 channels or 4 channels or whatever. So you grab the dial, and my dad like, slow down, you're gonna break it. And there was no
Yeah.
remote control. The remote control was Chuck getting up and, son, change the
Yeah,
channel
yeah,
to
you
5.
were
Yeah, yeah. And then the vertical and the horizontal hold on there. You had to.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
would
get
sit
it-
there.
get
It
it
was so,
rolling.
and it would slowly start rolling or kind of drop down. And you had to go up there, and there was like a potentiometer knob on
an H hole.
the
on
V-hole.
the back. Oh yeah, I used to love messing with those things. That was trouble, man. I used to.
And then everybody had a spare piece of tin foil to hook up to their rabbit ears
Yeah.
that they had inside there. And then always the youngest kid in the house was the one that had to go up there while the parents sat down
Hold
on
it,
the couch.
adjust
Yeah, turn it
everything.
this way.
That's
Don't
perfect.
don't
Stop.
don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move.
Then you let go and the
Dad,
signal would go.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dad, I want to watch. No, if you move, we're gonna lose the signal.
That's exactly how. I remember my parents. The TV before the color TV was this black and white thing. It was a 19-inch black and white from GE. I wish I had the thing. This should be in the Smithsonian. But the tuner, you couldn't break that tuner. We broke the knob, but my dad got a metal knob from the shop, and it was like that thing was all metal. You know, it was like anyway. That had all tubes in it.
All
So like
tubes, yeah.
we used to lose the UHF tube would go bad, so I couldn't watch Sesame Street. Because it would get all fuzzy. My dad would go down to the basement, rifle through this box. Oh, here's the tube I need, and go and change it. They weren't solid state; they were all tubes.
worked for GE. Then he was pretty handy. He had all those tubes. So when one went out, he had a spare down the basement.
Yeah, my
That's
dad had
cool.
a bunch of spare tubes too, because they used to they threw out ones that were like good enough. They weren't good enough for production, but they were good enough for Dad to take home from the shop floor, because they were they got round filed, you know. It's like Dad's like, okay.
It's too bad Mitch old guy isn't here today. I'm sure he have a lot to contribute to some of those old days with the black and white TVs and the radios and stuff like that.
You remember
Well,
the
I
first
think
color
he
was
actually
crazy
went
color too. It was
down-
like super cartoon. Sorry.
It was, yeah.
Batman was crazy, just overblown. You know, Technicolor was just
Technicolor.
bam.
I was just gonna mention that Technicolor. It was like going to your adjustment on your video editing stuff and kind of maxing everything
Blasting
out
it.
to the right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
Technicolor is like when you over color correct.
Saturate. Yeah, you saturate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do that when you're making
Don't do that.
videos. Don't do that. Ease up. You know, keep it real. Don't go crazy. Yeah, it's easy to get carried away. Technicolor.
So Chuck, did your dad have one of those tube testing machines at your house?
My dad didn't, but my grandfather had a Heathkit one that he built. So he used to have a Heathkit dude. My grandfather was a technician for GE in Utica, and then my dad worked in Syracuse. But so my grandfather, he was more the hands-on dude. He had all that stuff. I'd go down in his basement. I'd have so much fun messing around with all his testing tools, all his Heathkit. He had an RF generator, and I borrowed it forever. And then my neighbor, the kid across the street, was playing his boombox really loud, washing the car. So I took the RF generator and plugged it in and tuned into his radio station. All of a sudden, he goes, "It's playing music." I was like, because I basically drowned it. He starts messing with the radio, and I'm laughing my ass off. He changed the station. I'd mess with that one, doing it.
Well, Chuck, we have a lot in common because my grandfather was also, but he was self-taught. He didn't have any technical training in the background. He read everything, and he was a mechanic by trade, a vehicle mechanic. But his spare and his hobby time was doing the same thing. The basement was set up, and in the basement he had all of the electronic
oscilloscope
test
and all
gear, the
that
oscope,
Yeah,
the oscope.
yeah.
He had all that set up inside, and he
that's
would bring.
badass.
And I think that maybe was an influence for me to get into electronics, because that's what I did for about 15 years in my military career.
Cool.
I worked in electronics, and but I think that was a big influence. And I was always amazed by all these these gadgets and stuff that he had down inside there. I wish I would have listened to him more, though. I think I was more amazed by the dazzle of all the equipment than the theory and everything that he was always trying to get across to me. It's like it's like when you if you're Catholic and you go to catechism and stuff, and you're like 7 years old and stuff like that, and they're trying to teach you all this kind of stuff, and especially if you're a boy, you know, you're not listening to all of that stuff. You're thinking about, oh, the next day I'm in school, I'm on to flip cards and, you know, with baseball cards and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a certain time that you need to wait to really try to teach somebody and teach them theory and stuff like that, especially boys. It takes a while.
Me, it was more about when Grandpa wasn't around, I'd go down and mess with all the gizmos and stuff. And then when I got my first stereo equipment, it was like cassette tape stuff. You could adjust the bias current if you took the cabinet apart. You could mess with the bias current, and before they gave you a bias adjustment on cassette decks that were more high end, I had a cheap one, so I used to go in there and just by ear. I didn't use the oscilloscope like you should have, and just do everything by ear.
What were you?
I've got a channel for you guys. If you're into like what you're talking about, electronics for audio, there's a great channel called D-Lab where this guy repairs guitar amplifiers, and he repairs old vintage radios.
Nice.
And ham radios and CB radios, anything with, well, he does solid state and tube amplifiers. And it's a really cool channel.
I got to tell you, all the years that I've done with playing music and all, you cannot beat a tube amp. As much as you try.
Purists will tell you, it's a nice, soft analog.
It's warm. It's so warm.
Right,
yeah.
Yeah, that's why the Macintosh amps were all the rage.
The Macintosh amp. You don't get much more esoteric than that. The Macintosh was it. Back in the day, and they're still making them. But I haven't heard the rave and people talking about it. I don't think it was like back in the day when everything was all
the same. Probably you were going to say something, James. I don't know what you were.
Again,
it's gone.
It's gone. It's gone.
We were talking about the bias current on cassette decks and adjusting it, and then you were, and then all of a sudden, we should check it out.
Now I remember you talking about that, but I don't remember what I was going to bring into the conversation. Give me about 5 minutes, and it'll come back at a later date.
It will come back at all. Yeah, we told you it's the second thing to go. Memory's the second thing to go.
Yeah, I brought over some equipment with me, but I just don't. I was in the day, if you remember people who really collected stereo equipment back in the 60s and the 70s and even probably into the 80s, stereo equipment was big. You had big amps, you had big speakers, but I still have a lot of that gear left over. I was living over in Bremerhaven, Germany, and my excitement, was that?
Harman Kardon.
Harman Kardon, yeah, but they had. If you went down, they have a place by Rhein-Main Air Force Base down there. On Rhein-Main, they set up these. It was a selling point where people could come in. Hey, Adrian.
Adrian, how you doing, brother?
Hey, how you doing, man? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're in a little wonky. We can hear you.
Yeah.
How you doing, James? Chuck? Art?
Good.
Good to see you.
So anyway, I was getting back into the stereo, the way people used to do things in way back when.
Define way back when.
Well, for me, way back when in my period. Yeah. Well, actually, this was in the 80s. This was in the early early 90s. But it's a carry-on because people have been doing this for a long period of time. And the way when you bought stereos way back when, everything was big. For you to have the sound, for you to have the sound that you can get today, like on the Bose. these little Acoustimas or these little mini stereo systems.
Clip Las Scalas, baby.
And you take advantage because we really didn't have subwoofers way back when.
Well, we
so
had
what
12-inch regular woofers and 15.
Yeah. So what you did, you put 15. Yeah, you would have. Well, what I had, and I was going to talk about the place that I would go shopping. One of my favorite places on Rhine-Main Air Force Base. They had a vendor set up selling situation for electronics, mainly for stereos, and it's called Mainz Castell. And Mainz Castell had representatives from Harman Kardon, you had them from Marantz, you had them from DBX, you had all these people that came in, and they had booths. Yeah, Denon. As a matter of fact, I would go down there once a month. I would drive about 5 hours from Bremerhaven down to Rhine-Main.
Yeah.
And I would go down there, and I would do stereo shopping, and I would go into Hamburg. Hamburg, I would buy off the economy there, but the prices were just so high in Hamburg. But I would go down there, and when you bought a system, most of your amps had to be like 300 to 500 watts. 300, and they were the good ones were all tube amps and stuff, like the Marantz were all tube amps. Although they had some solid state and along some of their less expensive lines, less esoteric lines. But then when you have these big amps, you have to have big speakers. You have to have you have to have big speakers.
Yeah, the Clip Las Scalas, baby. I'm telling you, that's where they were.
Yeah,
everybody wanted those in high school. When I was in high school, everybody wanted the Clips.
Have you ever seen? Yeah, well, the Clips and they were huge. They were big. They were big boxes.
Meant for bars. Those things.
Oh yeah. But what I bought, because I really enjoyed my taste was more towards jazz and classical at that time. Although I played some rock in the background, but for relaxing, I've always liked jazz and classical music. So everybody kept telling me Infinity, go with Infinity. So I bought. Yeah, you know what the Kappa 9 is? The Kappa 9?
Yeah, yep.
It's as tall as I am.
Those power things, yeah.
Yeah, it's as tall as I'm 5'8".
Yeah.
And I think maybe it was just shorter than 5'8", maybe 5'6" or something like that. But you had to have those because if you didn't have those, you had to buy these huge, humongous speakers to be able to appreciate what your amp was putting out.
Yeah, there was Infinity and there was Polk Audio and JBLs, the gerbils as they were kiddingly called, all that stuff.
JBLs. Well, JBL.
There was a store in Syracuse called Sound Theater, I think it was, and they carried all that. They had the good stuff. I went in there when I finally had some money. That's when I got my first Denon cassette deck, and I brought it. The guy said, "Now bring in one of your tapes, and we'll bring it back to the bench, and we'll adjust the azimuth to dial it in, just like we'll dialed it all in and everything." That's we went to the good high-end places. That's what I took care of. Yeah, everything was.
I want to show you something. This is all the way from the Philippines. Okay, let's.
Hey, I can barely hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can barely hear you.
You are a little low, actually. Yeah.
You're always. Art, you're always.
Subtle.
I over the last month or 2 months, I've been listening to you. You compared to the other people that are in your group, you are always just a little bit low. You might want to consider.
All right.
There you go.
Turned up my volume.
Now you match that sexy microphone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, guys.
Remember that setting because I didn't want to say anything in the past, but you've always been lower than all your guests.
Oh, just go ahead and say James. He'll be all right. He's a big boy.
He can take it. Pigs.
Yeah, this is my girlfriend's piggery down there in Mindanao.
Bacon.
Yeah,
big business. Big business here.
Yep. So
Lichan.
That's a little side business.
They're cute. It's almost a shame that we know where they're going to end up on a frying pan. That's really sad.
Yep.
But see, they don't know what they have coming, Chuck. They don't know that they're going to be sliced bacon real soon.
I'm so torn personally because they're really cute, but they taste really good.
Yep. Lynch
So what do I do? I got the devil and the angel on each shoulder, like Animal House.
I do have a question for you, James. Actually, a question and a comment. First of all, do you fly drones?
All of us do, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
have you
great.
seen
Then you
his
know we all
channel?
drone brothers. Good.
Go
I just
watch
want to make
his
sure that you
channel,
do.
Adrian.
So go ahead. If you could drop a link or something on the chat, and I'll be able to go ahead and subscribe to your channel. I really appreciate it. Number one.
I don't think we can do that. I don't think as a guest, I don't think we're allowed to get into the chat. I don't
Well,
think we have.
I
can do
think
it
I'm
this
going
way.
to have to
Watch,
make
I
it
can-
moderator.
Here, I can. I think I can throw mine in. Let me see if it works. Did it work? I'll test.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
Did it show up?
Oh, you must. Okay, because I have the chat open from the
So,
invite here.
I have the YouTube chat blown out. You can use the three dots and blow out just the chat window for YouTube.
So you could pop it out.
Yeah, you can. Go to the three dots. So if you open up YouTube,
Are you on a Mac? Are you on a Mac?
Hell no.
I'm on. Oh
No.
Oh, that
I'm
hurt.
PC all the way, brother.
Oh, that hurt.
I know it did. I don't. No disrespect. I have friends who said, look, one of my buddies told me he got so sick of blowing up PCs that he went to Macintosh because it was costing him too much money. And,
I
understand.
I got to agree with him. I have two Macs. I have two. I have a 2012, and it's still that's 8 years old. 9 years old, and it is still as strong today, and it will do everything today that it did when I got it.
Look, I'm in trouble now. Like Jerry's upset with me. And,
what I'm saying is, you really don't have to upgrade your hardware nearly as much on a Mac as you do on a PC.
It goes back to when I was a kid and I took every single thing apart and had to know how it worked and everything. So the Android and the frickin' PC.
You just opened up the cobwebs here. That's what I wanted to talk about. That was what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to ask you if you did the same thing that I did, because you were talking about watching your grandfather and the electronics and the O-scope and all of the testers and stuff like that. When I will say 6 years old, 5 years old, and 6 years old, every toy that my
came
parents,
apart. But they didn't go back together then. They didn't go back together then, but they came apart. And then about 8 or 9, some stuff would go back together.
Then I think I was a little bit more advanced than you were. I have nothing against you.
No, it's okay. I was always a little slow in that regard.
All of my stuff went back together, but my mom would get so angry at me. I remember one Christmas, they bought me this, it's like what you see today. You buy your kids this little Jeep, and it's got a battery. It's a battery-powered Jeep that they can drive around. And now you can buy little Mercedes that they drive around, and stuff like that. Well, they back in 61, 62, 63. I don't remember when I got it. My parents bought me a Jeep just like that, and then it stopped working.
Mine had pedals, man. Mine had pedals. I had a Murray pedal thing.
I started with the pedals too. But I worked my way up, and I was just really lucky one Christmas. And Santa got me one with the battery in it. Unfortunately, back then, there wasn't such a thing as rechargeable batteries. There was no rechargeable battery,
right?
It was like a car battery inside there.
Motorcycle battery or something like 6.
Yeah, a smaller one. Yeah. And when it died, and it wasn't like you didn't have the internet. You couldn't go on the internet and order a replacement battery or anything like that. And when you bought it from one of these, when you bought it from the 5 and dime store and stuff like that, you can't go back inside. They don't have batteries on the shelf for replacement. So basically, when you got so many hours done of this,
that's what Radio Shack is for.
Oh God. Rest in peace, Radio Shack. That place, I used to ride my bike there all the time to get.
Well, that's a good question. When was radio? That should be one of your trivia. When was Radio Shack established? When was it first opened?
I had Tandy Company. Where? It used to be. They used to be. Oh crap! I should know that because that was like they always bragged about that on the catalog thing and everything.
I think Radio Shack came out of Heathkit.
Were they Heathkit first?
I think so.
It turned into Tandy Company.
Shack,
I know somebody's
their own computers.
I know somebody's Googling it in the background. Right
yeah, somebody will be Googling
that's it. But I'd like to know. I would like to know that. But of course, when you're 5 years old and 6 years old, don't even know what Radio Shack. Most of us don't know. Maybe
No,
Chuck.
Radio
did,
Shack was
because
that was later. That was when I got my 150-in-1 electronics
Yeah.
kit for Christmas, and
Yeah.
when I started blowing stuff up on it, I had to replace the components. Oh crap! I blew up the transistor. I got to go to
Well,
Radio
see-
Shack and match up another PNP
Radio Shack-
transistor and all that kind of
Radio
stuff.
Shack used to be the spot where I remember being in elementary school, and when I wanted to buy some batteries or buy the little
Just get the free
copy
ones.
remote control cards, I just go forward and back, and then you didn't have no turning, only forward and back, and then anytime you come back, it would turn a little bit.
Yeah, it would turn like a J. It would go backwards. It would turn like
Yeah.
My first radio controlled
Yeah.
car was a Starsky and Hutch Torino that my dad fell in love with at the freaking KB Hobby store, and
It
it
was
only
so
went
stupid.
hard left, hard
But
right,
It
forward.
was so stupid, but it was the best.
Well, I got to tell you, Radio Shack contributed a lot to people getting into electronics, learning more in They were a major factor into the success of people doing things like that. But Radio Shack, they went through this roller coaster, and I think they kind of timed it right. They were very close to being perfect, but they weren't exactly right, because Radio Shack was really one. I mean, there were other Heath and stuff like that that you could order stuff through the magazines. But Radio Shack had both the magazines or their
And you could ride your
advertisements.
bike. You could ride
and
your
you
bike
could-
to the store.
Right to the store. And that was what I
everything was
liked
in
so much.
stock.
They
Everything
had
was in stock.
the transistor. Everything was set at the transistors, the capacitors.
And you get a free
everything.
battery every month. You remember the battery of the month
Yeah,
card? You
battery
could
of the
get
month
free
card.
battery.
I had that, and they did really good. They established themselves really well.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happened, but
Amazon happened.
Well, no, it was before. It was before the internet.
It started to die before.
It was before the internet. I'm going to say probably. I don't know. Maybe in the 80s, 90s.
think
So
so?
they started closing. They started closing down all the
Yeah.
stores. And they started getting small. The availability was like, and that was before the internet, before we had stuff like this.
Yeah.
But and the reason I said they were almost perfect with their timing, had they been perfect, they would have pretty much. Because I don't think there is. I think Radio Shack went bankrupt. Didn't they?
It
Didn't they
was
go
on the
bankrupt?
internet. You could go to RadioShack.com for a while.
Yeah, for a little while. And
Do you remember they had a dongle for? Actually, before they folded up, they did try, because I remember I have somewhere in the house here. It's like a dongle thing. You could scan the catalog, and have plugged in your computer with a USB.
no, I didn't.
And scan the
see that.
items. I have it somewhere. It's probably I never even opened it.
But they kind of went away. They were going. I don't know. I don't know if it was a poor business strategy or what. But they started going downhill really fast, and they were closing down centers. Then the internet came. That is about the point where they could have
crushed
sustained.
them.
They could have sustained themselves, but what happened is there's just too much competition, because they're competing. Radio Shack at that point, when the internet came around, and you had something like Amazon.com, they're competing with the source of supply, which is China, because all the electronics come out of China. Every bit of the electronics come out of China. And now that Radio Shack was the middleman before. Now you've eliminated the middleman. And at that point,
Yeah, that's
unless
what happened. You're right.
and you can't be you
what
can't
happened.
compete with the pricing that you get through Amazon from the Chinese market. And there is a little and again, this isn't Art's conservative channel that he does where he talks about politics, but there is some unfair trading practices where there is help that the government helps with businesses in China, reducing shipping costs and actually paying for almost all their shipping costs over here.
That's how they
So
do
it-
it.
That's really how they do that. It's good for the American consumer, but it's not good for the American businessman.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
Michael
well, the
Wright
Chinese are
says,
good at protecting themselves.
Oh, I just got to.
Right.
Oh, well, hopefully we get to see stuff like that. And
Um,
because what was also neat about Radio Shack is they had all these learning kits.
Kits
They were
were
like
awesome.
the kits inside there,
Yeah.
where you have a blank circuit board that it's actually you can.
Oh, the breadboard stuff. They had
The
springs
breadboard.
on.
Yeah.
The springs were
The
really
bread-
cool, like the
with the
150-in-1 kit, where you could
And
just
it allowed you to understand circuitry, how a
yeah,
resistor
the
works,
books had
how
all
a
the schematics, and you learned how to
Yeah.
read schematics because everything was laid out as such.
Yeah.
Use
You
the
just
green,
have-
the green wire and the yellow wire and the red wire. They're
Yeah.
all different lengths. Remember the
Because believe it or not, that stuff is still applicable today. But unfortunately, most of the components that we used back in the day, when we're talking about transistors,
Yeah, they're pretty much
capacitors,
they're all
they're,
surface mounted
they're,
devices
they're
now.
on ICs. They're all built into an IC, and
or like Art has. That's breadboard.
yeah, like
Art has
there you go.
breadboard there.
There's a, yeah.
I was
But,
going
you know-
to make guitar FX with this test,
Nice.
tweak with different transistors and go, oh, what if I do this size resistor or this kind of diode, because you know what really determines a distortion or an overdrive is the diode. If you go to germanium or silicon or even LED diodes, you will change the characteristic of the
Of the
sound.
sound. Yeah. Diodes, the check
Okay.
valve of electronics.
The check valve, yeah, exactly.
Everything related. I remember one of the best electronics engineering, electric circuits in engineering school. I remember this dude. He took everything for us mechanical engineering guys and took electronics and turned it into mechanical. I remember the RLC circuit was it was the spring, the shock, the spring and the damper and the shock and everything on a car and everything was.
Well, Chuck, you just sent out a trigger word, so I got to jump in on this one right here. So you do that. You do this. Hey, we're going to blame this on you. Anyway, when you said the check valve, and we're going to slightly switch here, if Art doesn't mind, we're going to go back to pool. We're going to talk about pool. We're going to talk about
pool check valve.
We're going to go back to the pool check valves. I think we talked about that last week. Anyway, I received the shipment in yesterday from the U.S. My new pump for the swimming pool is in. I got the variable speed pump from Hayward. The one that's inside there right now is just a one speed. It's a one speed, This is a 1 horsepower, single speed. But the one I ordered from the U.S. is a variable speed. I think it does 4 different speeds, and it saves up to 90% of your electricity
What controls
consumption.
it? What controls it?
Uh,
Gene? How does it?
There is the pump has a controller built onto it, but the nice thing
Yeah.
about this is you can remote the controller anywhere via Cat 5, Cat 6 Ethernet cable, anywhere that you want to. So if I wanted to take the time and run a run from the pool all the way here to the back of the house, we could control the pump from right here on the
Why
back
are
of
you
the house.
why are you varying the speed of the pump? I mean, it's a constant volume system. Are you heating the pool and like you're controlling?
No.
I'm confused.
One of the well, there are several advantages, and it's really a lot of it has to do why the U.S. has gone by code in states, specifically California. They're mandating that these type of pumps have to be installed now inside swimming pools. It's because of the cost saving. Just that 90%. Just look at that number, 90%. Excuse me, cost saving on electricity consumption. All
But
right?
what's it? I
That's-
still don't understand why you're varying the speed of the pump.
Well,
You're cleaning the pool, right? You're
I'm
filtering
go-
the water.
I'm
So
going
isn't
to
it
tell
a
you.
constant volume system, like it's the next number of GPM for the size pool and you have X number of turnovers and that. So I'm confused. I don't know why you'd back that down unless it's like unoccupied mode, like when nobody's in the pool, it slows down, or.
Well, here's a fun fact. Here's a fun fact, and something that's going to be a good tip for those who are thinking about buying a swimming pool or having one built inside
Our
their
next week
at their home.
trivia will be this.
Nice. I'll be
So-
waiting for this.
So if you have a variable speed pump, especially if you have something like a DE filter that we have here, it has elements inside there. It's like a filter inside there with like fiber, even sand filters. The slower that your pool will be much cleaner, more like crystal clear water if you run it for say like
Lord.
12 to 24 hours on quarter speed, on the slower speed,
I
than
get
if you
that,
run
yeah.
it. Then if you run it on the one speed that you would normally get at the volume where it says it will rotate your water
This-
once every 2 hours.
This is no
So-
different than shaving or vacuuming. It's the same deal. It's like,
Yeah.
slower is better.
Yeah, so that's one of the main advantages for the consumer is they get cleaner water, and it makes your pump and your filter more efficient, both on electricity and the quality of the water that you have.
Well,
But
what's the
for-
variable speed for it? Over as the filter fouls, does the pump ramp up then to overcome the new pressure drop of the system? Does it needs more head to overcome that, or is that
Now,
what it's about?
one of the main things is option, but also something what you were talking about just now is that you have, if you need additional horsepower inside there, and it's underrated at say like the slowest speed, then you can move it up to what works for your. It will accommodate more pool sizes. You know, when you
Okay,
spec
so
out.
it's more. So you don't. They're more worried about people oversizing pumps, whereas the
Or
variable speed
or
pump is
undersizing.
gonna- Okay, I get it. It's almost like an EC motor on an air conditioning system. It'll deliver constant CFM regardless of the external static, like how.
But let's
filters
say for our case that we have right here. Our case is we have a waterfall, and when I run the waterfall full open, valve full open, to be able to get the
Need more
dramatic. To be able to get the dramatic effect with this 1 horsepower, I have to close off other. Ports on there, like
now
my
the pump can
return.
ramp up to make up for it.
Yeah, so that I can get more. So the pump itself, now I can have good circulation, and I can also have the dramatic effect. So it gives me more options. But
That is cool.
the key is cost saving. Is cost saving that you can do. 90%, especially in the Philippines, and we've talked about the
We
cost
talked
of
about water
electricity.
conservation and such, last time.
But
Yeah.
for the Philippines, our price of electricity is a little bit higher. And then
very good.
same as it is in a lot of places in the U.S. Once you go above a certain consumption point, they charge you a higher rate. It's like It's like a penalty is what they're doing there. Like, bad boy, you shouldn't be using this much electricity inside there, so your rate goes up a little bit here.
Or if you're on
So
a
that's-
demand meter here in the States, you pay more at the
You need
busy
solar.
times and use more electricity at the busy
Well, we do.
Pay
We do need solar, and we roughed in for solar for our roofing. So when I say roughed in, we have a
If
1-inch
you get the
pipe that
volcanic
goes.
ash off your solar panels, it'll work again.
Oh, I
we
got that
talked
off.
about that, remember?
Yeah, we talked about
The
that.
cement.
yeah.
The
I do
cement
remember
that
that.
forms
That's
from the-
that's still in the database up there. I still remember that conversation. But the roof still looks horrible. The roof is just covered.
Oh,
But I'm not getting up there. I'm not getting up there. It's part. I'm not doing that again. That was
Get
scary.
your high powered sprayer, get up there and.
The way James described it, I don't know if a high power sprayer is going to cut the mustard to get that stuff off. It sounds like it's cement. It's freaking
Well, it
cement.
is. Yeah. So I don't know how
Hardened
easy.
on and kind of
Yeah.
there.
Well, let's put it like this. It was tough to get off the solar panel. The cover of the solar panel, I had to have a hard bristle brush, and I worked really hard to break down that volcanic ash on the solar panel to get that done. Now just think,
razor blades. It's about this wide. You know,
yeah. Now just think the
barnacles off a boat.
Yeah, the tiles are asphalt based, so that it's embedded inside all that grain. And I think
that's not going anywhere.
I think I would probably do more damage with a pressure washer
Be
to
reshingling the house.
Yeah,
that's true.
And
Instead, it's just a really ugly extra protective layer now to keep it from leaking.
There it is.
Mother
there it is.
Nature's extra layer.
Yeah, it's life, and it's above my head. The only time you see it is when I
Is
do
with
the
the
drone
drone?
shots. With the drone shots.
Darn that drone.
Now, the other thing that I wanted to say, James, is basically you mentioned the Harman Kardon equipment, I guess, for music.
Yeah,
That's actually what I have on my truck, on my 2019 Ram Laramie.
I got to drop out for one second.
Man, that Harman Kardon radio system is amazing.
Oh, their speaker! I got to tell you, you and I think the same, Adrian. I just had to replace one of the speakers in one of our rock speakers here. I didn't show. I don't know if I showed that not on any of my videos. But I had one. It's old. The rock speaker is very, very old, and it had one of those waterproof speakers in that you made for outdoors. It's made for outdoors. But I went online, and I really respect Harman Kardon's speakers. Because I heard them in cars before, in vehicles, and they make some outstanding speakers. So I went through and I looked at I do my research, and I saw this particular speaker that I used inside the Rock speaker got really good reviews, and I put it in there, and I will tell you, it's better than the speaker that came in the Rock speaker. It's a higher quality, and I got a really, really good sound from it. And even the bass end, the low end, for such a small speaker, because I think it's only about a 5-inch speaker that's inside there, even for the low end responds really well. And I matched it up with a small tweeter that was originally inside the Rock speaker itself. It was already pre-wired, so I just followed the same wire, and it's out of the Rock speakers that I have, the two, it's the better sounding of the two. So I'm really happy with it. So we got some conference calls going on in the background here. I can see.
Another really good channel for if you like electronics is Mr. Carlson's Lab. And he does
No
a
relation,
lot
no relation to the Art Carlson.
No, we might be cousins, but who knows? But he's based out of Wisconsin, I think. But yeah, he does. He's got all the oscilloscopes and generators and oh god, he does
Signal generators,
old radios. He does amplifiers. He did one on a radio from a
I'll be back, guys.
B-29
fair enough.
that
Well, Chuck,
And-
I don't know if you did it back in the day. Did you use an oscilloscope? Did you take an IC chip and go across the pins to do the triggers to
And
look
get
and
the
see
steps
if
and
they-
everything.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
see the
make-
steps and
Make
yeah.
the square waves and the
I
triangle.
don't think
Yeah,
people do that too
triangle.
much today. I don't think people do that too
No.
much these days. I think
I did it
I
in
think-
engineering school more, so I didn't do it really in
yeah.
not my grandfather's basement. I didn't care then. I did that
Well,
stuff in lab.
We did that, yeah. We did all when I went to the electronics school, and then I started working in the field. I worked in electronics. That's what we had to do. We went component level, and we checked all those the components out, and then we replaced and resoldered in a new IC chip if we
Yeah.
needed to do something like.
'Cause
Now,
everything was square waves. It's all on, off, and then you'd have to use your NAND and NORs and ORs and all that stuff to make
Yeah.
the sine wave. You had to make it by having.
well, that was in the day. That was in the.
transitions,
Yeah, that was in a day when it was cost effective to do that, but what they're finding out now, it's not cost effective to do that anymore, especially hiring a qualified technician to do that. So
Yeah.
everything today is pretty much black box maintenance, or you'll replace the board, the entire board, because the boards
yeah,
usually
there's no
don't cost.
troubleshooting anymore.
There's
It's
no
just
troubleshooting.
change the
They-
board. Yep.
I mean,
You know.
it's your basic flow chart troubleshooting. Does it do this? If not, replace this board. You know, if it
Yeah.
does this, go to the next step and things like that. So
Yeah, well,
It's-
yeah, and then when you get like I don't know about your computer, I'm staring down at mine. I have a backup power supply, a UPS, and you have to pay good money to get a sinusoidal one because it's so easy to make a square wave. That's most of them are just cheap square wave ones, which are kind of messy. Your electronics
Yeah.
don't like that so much. You have to pay
Yeah.
good money to get a sinusoidal one, get a nice pure, 60 hertz going.
yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff. It's good stuff.
Oh,
And I forgot most of it.
before I
think.
got into drones
Me
back
too.
about 5-6 years ago, I used
Enough
to
to be
go
dangerous.
on eBay and buy broken distortion pedals, and I would
Ah.
fix them up. A lot of times, it
Yeah.
was mostly the stop
Capacitors blow up and stuff in those.
switch.
Yeah.
And some of them I would do mods where I would take the diodes out and I'd get a switch where I could switch from germanium diodes to silicon diodes. Then you could get kind of a softer fuzz or distortion to a really raspy, dirty distortion.
Well,
which was
Art, Art, you opened something up here.
Here we go.
No, it's not for me. It's not for me. I'm learning something about you. Are you a guitar player?
Yeah, I've got a couple of guitars here.
Oh my goodness!
Comedian slash musician.
Oh, you got a Fender amp.
That is
oh,
sweet. Look at that. Yeah.
I truly
Yeah.
respect
It is
you.
nice,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Sidekick Reverb 30,
Oh.
and I just purchased a lap steel guitar.
Oh. Oh,
So
I
I'm
play. I
gonna
had.
learn how to play.
Oh,
play
I had.
that.
I had one time in our musical career.
One time in
and-
band camp.
Yeah. Well, this. yeah.
That's one time at band
That's
camp.
good. That's good.
I went
But
to band camp.
when we moved from South Korea to Charleston, and we had the band going there for a very short period of time, and I really because we've gone through the stage on what kind of music we like. We like all kinds of music, but we would be real
Progressive
strong,
rock, baby.
real strong in classic rock. We will always be in classic rock. And then we moved into when we were in South Korea, a band before I started our band in South Korea. I started with another band, and it was all country, 100% country music. And I love country music. Half of my life I spent in the South, and my father's family's all from the South. I love country music, and but it was difficult for me to play 3 to 4 sets all night, 3 to 4 hours of nothing but country music all night long because of my classic rock roots. I'm dying to play classic rock. So I convinced the band leader.
The band. Gotta
Yeah,
get the band back
The
together.
band, Elroy, get the band back.
Elwood,
Then it-
Jake and Elwood.
Elwood, Jacob, yeah. And so anyway, I convinced the guy. I said, let's add some classic rock music into the band. And I'll tell you exactly what he told me. He said, I'd like to do that, but I'm afraid if we bring classic rock into when everybody's coming to listen to country music, we'll lose all of our audience. So I didn't say anything. So I waited a little bit longer. So I went again. I said, do me a favor. Let's just introduce one or two. Let's practice one or two of the songs that I'm used to. And he said, all right, we'll try it. Well, we did that. We did that. And then what ended up happening, somehow I was able to move more and more classic rock songs. So we ended up going about 50-50. And he doesn't remember.
Fried rock. You created
He doesn't-
Southern fried rock.
Yeah, well, he doesn't
Pretty
remember
special,
this.
Got the idea from you, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he doesn't remember this because at that time he was about as old as I am today, and we're talking back. We're talking back. I don't know, 15 years ago. And I remember him coming to me years after I had been playing with him, and we moved on, and we were like 50-50. He said, "I got to tell you something, James." He said, one of the best things we ever did was bring your classic rock music into this band. We grew more. We blended inside, and we grew, and our audience has grown so much. But he does. I felt bad. I did not say, "Oh, but you remember, Daryl? You remember when we first started? You said that would be the death of your band if we brought this stuff inside." But I didn't say that. And I said,
Remember the
"I
old
agree."
joke? What happens when you play a country music record backwards? You get your house back, you get your wife back, you get your dog back, you get your car back.
Oh, all right, you missed a good one there. That should have been part of your. You need to write that one down.
It probably
God,
came from
that-
him.
that-
Probably is some other. It's
pretty
not
old.
mine. I stole that from somebody back.
Well, that's a good one. I'm going to use that. Yeah.
Remember, having to spin the records backwards, unplug the turntable, play the
Yeah.
Styx records backwards. To hear,
The old Beatles.
the Chlorum.
The Beatles'
Yeah, number
White
nine,
Album.
number nine.
Number nine.
Paul is dead.
Paul is dead. Paul is dead.
Yeah. Well, Styx just put the stuff in there. It's blatantly backwards. You could hear it. And then you had to spin it backwards and play it, of course. And I remember Pink Floyd The Wall. There's one in Pink Floyd The Wall where you play it backwards. It says, "Congratulations, you have found the backwards message." And it's on the wall.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
For real. It's there. Yeah. And which part? It's another brick in the wall. Is it like part 1 or something? But you hear this, you hear the backwards talk, and then if you spin it backwards, it's "Congratulations, you have found the backwards message. Send your answers to Pink" or something like that. Yeah.
All right, there you go. You know what? You should have. Well, it's too late now. We blew it right now. We should have.
Well,
what?
I
I'm
did
sorry.
backwards songs
Yo, I know. That's what
Wow,
I'm
no.
talking. I'm talking. If you would have taken that and run it backwards, and had it say, "Congratulations, you have found." What album did this come off of?
Well, you still
Oh,
could
yeah,
do it.
that'd be-
See if anybody remembers next week or a month from
Yeah.
now.
Well, I
Hell,
think
I
most-
can't remember last week.
Yeah.
So maybe like
I think most of your viewers right here are probably around our age anyway. So you probably do that in about 2 weeks, and we would never remember it anyway. You're right.
I don't know why that sticks in
Well-
my head, but yeah, I used to mess. It
There's
was really
a
mean to
song-
my stylist. That was super mean is to replace him, and really mean to the record for that matter.
Well,
Sorry,
now
Art.
with electronics, all you have
Well,
to
now
do
it's
is,
easy. Yeah, now you can
yeah,
play it
it's
backwards. You can play the sample backwards. Piece of cake. Thank you, digital. But
All
the
digital,
old day was
yeah.
I had to unplug the turntable,
Yep.
and then I had to like manually turn the thing backwards and look at the strobe to make sure I was kind of close to the sample. Backwards. Or then I got clever and I took the cassette deck and I took the head off and spun it around, mounted it backwards. Because remember, a cassette tape had two channels, right? There are 4 channels, like linearly on the tape. So if you flip the head around, it would read the other side, and it would play normal speed backwards. That was a lot of work. I didn't have open reel. I had a cassette deck, so I had to really.
Jeez, you had such a hard time.
It was
Well, I had-
hard.
I-
it was hard.
Yeah, yeah. My hardware started out with we had a Victrola that had the 3 speeds, the 78.
Victrola.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh, yeah, we
78
did.
RPM. My grandfather. had
78
You had the old wax cylinders and the crank and
Oh,
And the
Edison
seven
stuff,
and the
Thomas Alva
70
Edison
and
stuff.
well, no, it didn't have a crank. And I don't even remember what you're making fun
Where
of me
wax
now.
came from,
Okay,
all
but
right,
that's
that's where it
okay.
came from,
I can
cylinders.
take it. I can take it. But yeah, we had 78, 45, and 33. and
Remember,
a half.
there were
33
16.
and
There were
a-
16 and a thirds too.
Oh,
16 and 2/3.
No, I
my
never heard of that.
grandfather had one of those really crappy turntables, but it had 78, it had 33 and a third, and it had or 45, 33 and a third, and like half of 33 and a third is like 16 and whatever. It had that too.
Well, if
Super
I remember
slow.
correctly, the 78s, they were about the size of a full LP, maybe a little bit smaller.
Yeah, they played
They were,
in no time.
but they only had one song on it on the 78.
But you know what was great about that? Actually, that's the whole point of that was you could get the frequency response. You couldn't, right? Because you play them faster, it could handle the lower frequencies and everything.
But I will say what
The
I said,
wavelength, and it wasn't like this on the record. It was more like
and we talked about this before.
Whatever.
I think on a previous episode.
there was something to that. Maybe I got it
and it-
backward.
And it kind of matches up to the tube amp, or we're talking about how tube amps are so much warmer. Anything that's tube driven is much warmer than the solid state.
Yeah.
I still, till today, and you ask anybody who has been around for a long time, the albums still have a better, warmer, more original sound than digital. Any of the digital medium that I've heard today, I still like it the best.
I embraced CDs the moment they came out, and I realized that the sampling rate was 44.1 hertz, which means that to get 20,000 hertz for perfect young human ears, you had 2 points. Because if it samples 44,000 times, you have 20,000 hertz, so you get 2 samples every, right? So that's not much to go on. I think that's why you get the harshness. I think is the nuts and bolts of why that happens. Remember
That's a
half
good-
speed mastered records? They used to.
I had.
half
Oh,
speed.
I thought I talked. You weren't on the episode, and I think I talked with Art about that. I was
Yeah.
a big, and I still, even till today, I don't have them here with me. I didn't ship them over. I still have half-speed masters back in the U.S., and they are better.
Well, that was because that was the high frequency
sampling rate.
problem.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
the high frequency thing. If they played
Yeah.
them half mastered, you gave up the low frequencies, but nobody really seemed to care that
Well, the
much.
half-speed.
High
If
frequency.
correct me if I'm wrong. The actual process of recording on a half-speed master, they record it at half the speed
Uh-huh.
when you're doing so there are no anomalies inside there that might happen when they're recording it at the mass production standard production process that they do. And I most people will say, "Oh, you're dreaming it up," and I would put a
No,
half-speed
it was
master
real,
on,
but I didn't think
and
that
it was
the
real.
reason. Okay, so I guess I didn't do my homework then, because
Well, let's yeah. We'll,
Now I gotta
we'll-
research.
yeah, do some research, and the next time.
Exam is
if-
next week, Chuck.
all right,
So
all right.
Study up.
But that I think I am
I will.
almost
Better
positive
write down notes here. Half-speed
half-
masters,
And
I
bring
forget.
a notepad because
It's-
we're going to look at your work.
Yeah. It was laid down on the album because it took twice as long. It takes twice as long.
Right?
But
It should.
yeah, it takes twice as long to put it on
Quality
there.
was
But
better.
the half-speed master, and again, I'm almost positive, but check me out on that fact. But I believe the reason that it's the higher quality, is because of the process being done at the slower rate.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Okay, yeah, you do that. I like that. I like that comment about the that Mike B put on there about 50% of the time I can put the batteries in my flashlight in the right direction. I don't know. I do that all the time. I'm always putting my batteries in backwards. I'm like, why isn't this device coming on? What's going on? And I'm like, oh, I'm sure I know what it is, and I go back inside. But you got to be careful. You know what? I didn't realize some devices, if you put the battery in backward, there's no protection device inside there, and that
you can fry it?
You can fry it. You can actually cause a fire inside your device, and I actually have one device that happened to me on. We have the in the U.S. and here we have bidets in all of our laboratories or
Save
all of
toilet
our
paper.
Butt squirters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you
And
guys
they
in the
all
US.
and they're all remote control. Everyone except for one. We have one that's manual. It has just a dial that you turn for the water inside there. But all of ours in the U.S. I have the remote. You just push a button, and they're programmable for men or women for your specific needs that you want, and the temperature of the water and everything that you have inside it.
Little
but it's-
dribble up to
but-
power
okay.
scrubber.
This.
I sent it in the private chat, Art. I sent a link I found in the private chat. It's kind of wordy though.
Hey guys, I'm
So-
about to go and go Art.
Okay.
Oh, and I'm supposed to join them.
I actually,
Oh, me too. Edgar's gonna be so pissed at me.
I actually thought
My
Art,
wife
that
asked
you,
about Edgar, by the way. Sorry.
I actually
Adrian.
thought that you actually will end the stream at 9 p.m. Was I right or wrong?
I think you are
Well, I'm
usually
going
9.
to be wrapping it up pretty soon here anyway. I've already gone about 2 hours.
Okay, thank
Have we
you.
been? Wow, time flies when you're having fun.
Anyway, so Art, thank you for having me, boss man. I really appreciate you.
You're
Adrian, it
welcome.
was good seeing you. Next time I'm going to
Good to
sit
see
back
you.
and be real quiet, and I just want
Oh,
to
he
listen to
doesn't-
everything you
Adrian,
have to say.
Fine,
I'm gonna
brother,
let-
you're fine.
Oh man, I'm bad too. James and I, we just squelched you. It's terrible.
You don't want to. You don't want to come on the channel and Chuck and I get on the channel together.
Anyway, Art, so
We'll have
I
our own.
sent you a link to my stream, but I'm about to
Yes,
start.
I got
9
that,
o'clock,
and,
right?
and I'll get over there as soon as I can.
I'll see you later, man. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Jump
All
over
right,
there.
cheers, Adrian. Have
My
a great
stream
weekend.
now on Saturday is 9 p.m. Eastern. See you later.
See you in a little bit.
I already
Well,
forgot what we were just talking about.
No, it's
oh,
mastering, and I found the answer. In,
no, it wasn't half-speed master. It was bidets.
Oh, but days. Why?
Yeah.
I blacked out the whole freaking butt squirter that Art called it.
You gotta change the name of your channel, Art. The drones, pools,
Yeah.
and bidets.
Yeah.
But anyway, and it's got
Whatever
nothing.
we
And it's
talk
got
about.
nothing. And this has what I was gonna say has nothing to do
Drone solution and stuff.
and stuff.
There you go.
Anyway,
Found it. I found. Why won't let me copy this?
Okay, don't go to that. Let me finish because I will not remember
You
in
keep
5
talking.
minutes.
It's all good.
Okay, so it's about it's not about the bidet, but it's the remote control for the bidet. And I accidentally, the batteries died in the remote control, and I put the batteries back in, and I noticed it wasn't working. I'm like, what is going on? I know these are brand new batteries inside here. So I picked up the remote control, and in my hand, it was burning. My hand was burning so I knew, immediately popped the batteries out. So I'm like, what is going on here? So I read the manual, which I never do, but I read the manual. And it says,
RTFM.
caution, warning, with the symbol in.
ArtCo bidet solutions.
But it said there was a big caution at the very beginning, and they knew the consequence of putting the batteries in backwards. And they really should have a safety device inside there. It said could cause harm or fires. It said inside there. So make sure, so that's what I'm saying, you got to be kind of careful in certain things. And I think that was something really bad that they couldn't build, because you can build a circuit with some type of a diode inside there to shut off power when it knows the polarity is backwards, but they just didn't do that.
They just don't
Yeah.
bother because it costs extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the half-speed mastering thing, I am correct. I shared the linky with Art.
Okay.
When they master at half speed, people are more sensitive and aware of high frequencies, which half-speed mastering allows those high frequencies to be captured. But then the low frequencies...
Why does it allow? Does it have something to do with the process, maybe? The recording process on
It has
on
to do
the
with
vinyl?
the limitations of the... Yes. Yep. Well, the tape, basically. The tape can capture those high frequencies at half speed better. But the problem is you lose the low frequencies. Now they get cut off because the lows are, well, they're twice as low.
Okay, you know what? You're making me go to Google, and I didn't want to do this.
Maybe I'm a horrible teacher. I will tell you that right now. I'm a terrible teacher, so you'll have to read it for yourself. But it does have to do with the limitations of analog equipment as a whole, right? Because you only have so much frequency response. You can only our human ears,
Okay.
when they're perfect, are 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz.
Half-speed mastering is a vinyl cutting technique where the source is played back at half speed, its normal speed, while the turntable on the vinyl cutting lathe also
half
runs
speed.
at half speed. That's what I was saying. That's the
Yeah.
process. That's the process. So
Yeah.
we're both right. We're both right.
But you sacrifice the lows to capture the highs. Is the
Did
that's
it
the
say
trade-off.
did it say that? Because I've never noticed that. Did it say that?
That's the trade-off. You ever notice how, like, I don't know, like certain records, if there's a lot of high energy content, because of records are rotating, right? You have a constant angular velocity, but your linear velocity gets faster as you get closer to the center. You know what I'm talking about? The angular,
I know.
you know,
Yeah.
vehicles omega
Well, it's
R.
fair. Yeah.
Vehicles omega R thing. So they have to squeeze more information towards, as you get towards the spindle of the record, you're squeezing more information per linear length of that groove. So like, I remember I had Foreigner 4 on vinyl, and it was super distorted at the very intersection because of that, because there was just, but the tracks on the closest to the edge, where you first set the stylus down, that's the clear stuff, and as it sweeps in towards the center, now it's basically you have to squeeze more information because it's a smaller circle, right? Every rotation's a smaller linear distance.
Well, it is a small linear distance.
Same amount of time, but it has to cover...
time. The point in time is exactly the same, because when you hit that spot on the outer, you're hitting that part of the circle at the same exact time.
That's when you put bigger tires on your car, your speedometer reads kind of artificially low.
Yeah, because they're not
Instead of doing
calibrated.
60 miles an hour or 60 kilometers per hour, you're really doing like 70. Because it's the whole vehicle's omega R gig.
Wow, there's some really fun facts on this channel, Art.
I'm a nerd, I can't help it.
I've already subscribed to you, so I can't subscribe to you now. So.
And I've forgotten most
Well,
of it.
guys,
Really
we've done over 2 hours. I want to thank you for coming on the panel. We learned a lot today, mostly
Gee,
about
Mr. Wizard.
electronics and how we did bidets, how records were made.
we have pumps. We have variable speed pumps.
Radio
We had-
Shack. All kinds.
We had history at the beginning, Art, courtesy of you.
Yep.
The deepest lake in the world is in Russia.
Yep.
Well,
Lake
I really need. I got to call Art or Edgar up, and I received a bunch of. This is Lazada. This is.
You can blame it on me. You can tell Edgar, Chuck slowed me down. Talking too much. I couldn't get off this thing.
This is Sunday morning. Even on Sunday mornings, they deliver mail here. Well, it's not mail. This is Lazada. Lazada does deliver. I got a bunch of little things. I got some batteries. I got, what do I have inside here? I got some transparent tape. And I talked to you about those foams. I know you're trying to close. I know you're trying to.
Yeah.
I know you're trying to close.
He's right.
close
It
your
smushes the information in. Yeah.
I know you're trying to close for today, but I just have to let you know one of the things I received today was the double-sided. This double-sided. It's in the bag. I'm not going to open the bag. It'll be another episode. We'll talk about this. But remember, I want to put those acoustic tiles. I talked about putting the acoustic tiles in the sound room. Well, I decided to do it right. So I'm ordering all these things. When we do it, we'll do a video. We'll do it a bit, and I'll share it with you too. Cool. But we're going to be having some boards. We're going to apply the acoustic tiles to the boards. Then we're going to apply the boards to the wall using. I hope this works. This is a 3M double-sided tape, and it's like, you know, that kind of tape that you can put hangers on your wall where you can pull it, and they won't destroy the wall. But this is actually tape without a hook or anything. So I'm going to try that. We'll see how that works. We'll do a product review on if stuff like this works as well. That's what I got in today. Anyway, all right. Thank you so very much. Your show is so addictive. And again, I will not be offended if you don't send me an invite, because if you send me an invite, there's always that chance I'm going to show up, and then we're going to go overtime like we did today. I have so much.
Well,
I have so much fun
next
here.
week I'll have my lap steel out, and I'll be, hopefully
nice. Yeah, you
making
should bust it out and break out
beautiful
some
sounds out of
There
it.
we
All
go.
right, Chuck, do you play an instrument? You playing the instrument?
I'm not admitting that I used to play trombone, but I won't be
Trombone?
ready in a week if I bust it out. It'll take me.
Well,
The
well,
lip
I'll-
is gone. It's got to come back.
I'll admit, I was a trumpet player. I played cornet.
We have a horn section if we get our
Yeah,
lip back.
but I don't
You gotta
have-
get your
but
lip back.
Yeah, it takes a little while. to
About a month.
get that back.
I did
Yeah,
it
about a
before when
month.
I was in an engineering office and they found out, and I had to bust the thing out and blow the cobwebs out. Took me a month.
I think not so much for a trumpet as it is for a the trombone,
My mouthpiece
because it's a
is
bit
larger
it's a
than
bigger. It's larger
well-
or baritone or something
Because
like that.
I was bass clef, you were treble. So
Tubular, whatever, the bigger huge. But
Yeah, right.
I got an idea, Art. Let's put together a project, and I know they do it. They do it where you can send a file, a track. You send a track to somebody, they add onto that track.
put it all together.
But we need to find, because Ness can do.
Oh, crap,
She
I
can
don't
do.
have time to play trombone again.
Ness plays bass and guitar, and I play a little bass and guitar. And if I have to, I can do a drum track if I need to do my own drum. I'm not even the beginner level, but I can make it sound. And I don't have. But let's try to figure out. Let's figure out how we can do
I'm
that.
a beginner on the slide guitar, so
Well, let's sit together away from each other, but sit together virtually, and let's try to put something together. It may maybe a couple months down the road or something like that.
It might be
Let's keep-
summer. This is a good time for me to practice though, because I can have all the windows closed and nobody has to listen to the freaking. It's gonna sound really muffly because I remember. Nice.
Click track. I've heard
Yeah,
of that.
cool.
I've
Is
heard
that
it.
all the rock
Let's-
bands do it?
let's work out- Let's work out the logistics and figure out a way to do that, and let's put something together. And then what we'll do, my recommendation, is when we're recording the tracks, have a GoPro doing that portion of the recording. Then we'll take the recorded segments, we'll take the final layers or tracks that are all put together, we'll mix them together. I think that would be a really fun
that
project.
This means I
really
have
fun
to learn how to
episode.
read music for the third time.
Intro music.
And
Well, for you, Chuck, for a trombone, of course you don't play a trombone through the entire song. They're normally brass sections, unless you're doing a full brass type of a like Chicago. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the most fun stuff to play for me.
Oh yeah,
That's-
yeah.
You know,
Well, that-
maybe some Phil Collins stuff because of the.
You
Used
shouldn't have
Earth
said.
and-
You
used
shouldn't
Earth, Wind, and Fire
have.
horn section, which was pretty powerful.
There you go. You did the trigger word, Chicago. But that's the reason that Chicago and blood, sweat, and tears are the
Yeah.
reason why I took up the trumpet. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't take trumpet. Too many people did, so I had to settle for trombone, which is far less cool. But
Well, I never made first chair. I was second chair. I never made first
what was
chair.
the trombone player in Chicago? His name was like Chuck Panko or something.
Uh,
I did meet
Chuck
him once after a
Mangione.
concert. I remember he had great big arms on. He was like Jack LaLanne's kid,
yeah.
the trombone player or trombonist. I remember though, we saw Chicago. Me and my wife saw him, and we were like first row. And after the concert, when they come up to the stage, the bow, I got to go up and like shake his hand, and I said, "Oh, dude, I used to play trombone. You are so awesome. You have no idea how great this is." And he's like, "Oh, thank you." It's kind of cool.
Oh,
But
well, they broke the paradigm. Those two bands broke the paradigm as
Yeah.
far as what could be played, the type and styles of music that could be played on radio at the time.
Yeah, it's cutting edge.
They're like, there's no way. If you look at any of the documentaries on it, they were told there's no way. No recording studios didn't want to touch them. Because they said we won't make any money off of this kind of stuff, but they did, and
nice.
that's another 2.5 hour.
Yeah, we
episode
better-
for Art
we better-
to talk about.
Stay tuned next week.
To be continued.
Yeah,
To be
yeah.
continued.
Same
Well,
bat
thanks.
time, same bat channel.
Same bad channel. Yep,
Yeah.
that's right. All right, guys, let's shut this puppy down while we can, or we'll be here all night.
Oh, yeah.
So
You got more wine.
thanks again, James, Chuck. Always good to have you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
you guys.
Art.
Thanks
Thank
for
you. Always a
inviting.
pleasure to be here,
Everybody
sir.
in the chat, Greg, Shani, Bob, Steve, and all the rest. Thank you all for coming to the show. Have a great weekend. All right, we'll bump each. Okay, down to that one, and bye bye, Chuck. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. You all have a great weekend. I'm going to go and we'll bring in my. Okay, there we go. We'll close it out. We'll put this back in.